hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts run.
Hey Real Fam, I'm back with another episode. Yes, episode 2 of the Sis Give Yourself Grace Divorce Edition series. So yeah, it was good to be back. It took me time, but so much got in between, mainly because I was, preparing for my exams. So I really needed to focus 100%. So I couldn't jump into the second episode. But also, let's address the elephant in the room. We always addressing the elephant in the room, right? Yeah. The awkwardness of doing the first video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me start. Let me introduce myself. Let's introduce what we're doing today, or what this is all about. So my name is Nthabi. Nthabi is all about empowerment and transformation. So I recently started a podcast, which is also on Spotify. If you're watching on Spotify, hey now, thank you. Don't forget to review and tell us how you feel about this podcast and comment about your views. And of course, if you're watching from YouTube and you're looking at your girl, hey, welcome. It's always nice to put, the voice to the face, right? Is that how they say it? Yeah, to put the voice to the face. Yeah, you get me. So yeah, I recently started a podcast, and of course, I've had my YouTube channel for a while. I'm all about empowerment and transformation. So recently I got divorced. It's been a year and a half now. Yes, actually a year and a half. And I decided to do a series on my experience as someone who has been married and got divorced. This is not in any way to say that my content really supports divorce or anything. If there's one thing I'm going to say to you, is that marriage is beautiful. Listen, love hard, get married. If you're going through a process of healing, heal and remarry if you can. Okay, I'm not remarried. No, this is my accessory ring. Like, I'm loving this lately. I don't know. I'm loving this. So I'm loving accessorizing with my rings. And maybe also because at some point I was married and I was used to having something on my hands, okay? But it's not in any way to say that I missed the ring that was here. No, it's okay. It was great when it was here. It was a great moment. But yeah, I guess some seasons are meant to end, right? And it's okay. Can we agree on that? It's okay, all right? And maybe I'm talking to someone who feels like, whoo, that journey is really not easy, but it's okay. It's okay, all right? So as I said, okay, I think I did the intro. Please make sure that you follow on Spotify or subscribe if you're watching from YouTube. Of course, this is our home. YouTube is our home. Our podcast started here. So definitely I'm gonna I'm gonna push for you to be a part of this family. Do subscribe if you haven't. I'll appreciate that so much. Like this video and comment. Let's engage, real fam. And thank you so much for the engagement that I got from the first video. If you haven't watched the first episode, please make sure that you watch it. But at the end of this video, or if you feel like you want to pause on this one and go to that one, do as you please, okay? But make sure that you watch both of them. All right. So before I start with today's conversation, I just want to tap back to how the feedback that I got from the first video. So if you remember, Of course, if you watch this video, let's just recap. I started, of course, sharing about my divorce experience, and it wasn't the easiest video that I've done because I had to relive. And when I say relive, which is something that I feel like most people were concerned about, like, why are you reliving that experience? Real fam, I cannot tell you something if I don't tap back into those emotions or getting back to that moment. And reliving the moment does not necessarily mean that I'm going back or I'm taking 10 steps back or 2 steps back. Doesn't mean that I am still holding on to my past. It has nothing to do with that. But I'm here authentically telling you about how I was feeling, my experiences. So it's very important for me to be as authentic as possible. I don't even have scripts. I'm not scripting anything. I'm just telling you what's in my heart. And while we're there, real fam, this content is not meant to really speak bad about my ex-partner. Not in any way are we going to be dwelling too much into his side or whatever, mainly because I just have so much respect for him, and I just have so much respect for what we had. And I believe that if I'm gonna dive in deeper into what happened, how it happened, whatever, and he's not here to even attest to say, actually, no, you're right or you're wrong, whatever, so allow me to just speak what I can. Allow me to just tell you how I feel. And of course, if this content is good for you, stick around. If it's not, that's what I'm gonna say. If it's not, it's okay, bye. Jump into the next video. It's okay. There's nothing wrong. You can watch other videos. I'm not saying run away or unsubscribe. You can watch other videos that are not related to this. It's okay, real fam, okay? So, episode 2. What are we on about? What are we talking about? So, I think this video is inspired also by a recent TikTok video that I did. I love doing this short TikTok videos, and not just TikTok, YouTube shorts. If you follow me and you're consistent at that, you probably have bumped into maybe one of the clips here on YouTube or on TikTok, on Instagram, or on Facebook. And I'm Real Talk with Nthabi on all platforms, by the way, okay? You're welcome to follow everywhere. Yes, so I recently shared, the importance of understanding that even with every experience that you've had, whether you were married and now you're dealing with pain, you are healing, whatever, even in those moments, you should not forget yourself. You should not forget to get up and continue with your life. And when I say continue with your life, what I mean, real fam, is that often, okay, let me just give you a summary of how I experienced when my divorce happened, or when I was in that process, what was happening. So before I got divorced, I think for almost a period of over 6 months, closer to a year, basically, if I'm not mistaken. I felt demotivated. I didn't have that zeal anymore. I didn't have the energy, the excitement to do the things that I love. And one of them was creating YouTube videos, doing the things that I love, going to events. Well, actually, no. Going to events, I didn't compromise. I think going out really helped me a lot to just, put my mind at ease and just be in a different environment. So that helped me a lot. So I was actually going to events a lot. I was investing so much into that. That's why I even feel like 2024, I think as much as I'm attending events, I feel like there's so much that I've taken in on various events that I've been attending. I mean, and it's time to tap back into me doing it, because remember, real fam, if you follow my content, you would know that I have an annual event that I do of women empowerment, which is now more of Sis Give Yourself Grace, because the podcast was actually discovered from really, I think, the second annual summit that I did, and the theme was Sis Give Yourself Grace, and that's how our podcast was, formed. And I really want to tap more into that, not just empowerment, but I think giving ourselves grace has more oomph, in my opinion. So yeah, going back to what I was saying, even creating events or hosting events, not creating but hosting events, was a drag for me, because I was not giving my full self, or I was not going to give it my all, because I was not in the best space. And unfortunately, Real Fam, if you are not at your best self, or you're not vibrating in the best way possible, it's so hard for you to tap into that best version of yourself. And I can tell you this, energy is everything. There's so much power in energy. You can pray about the day. You can pray that, God, please give me the strength to be able to conduct this, to be able to perform this, to be able to execute this, and then you execute it. But if your energy is not aligned, Real Fam, if your energy is taking, I'm telling you, there's going to be a problem. So I really couldn't do it. Okay, I was unhappy, Real Fam. I was the joy that I used to feel in my marriage was slowly dying down. And I'll just share a glimpse, Real Fam. Being in a space where you constantly have to affirm another person that, hey, I am here. I want to be here. I chose to be here. Years and years constantly having to just put a stamp to say, I love you, I choose you, I want you, I married you. But trust was also one of the factors in my marriage that affected my marriage. I feel like there was lack of trust, and that really became hard for me. It became hard for me because I got to a point where I was like, okay, what do I do now? Like, how do I make someone trust me? And you're probably asking yourself, but why a person cannot just automatically not trust you and all that? Real Fam, I'm gonna say this. When you get into relationships, or when you get into a relationship, do not get into a relationship when you feel like, oh, okay, I can just be in a relationship. I'm gonna advise you, Real Fam, to give yourself time, to heal, to really be clear about what you want, right? So my story, and I'm gonna tell my story. This is my part of my part of the story. So I jumped into a new relationship quicker, without really healing from a previous relationship, and doing that affected I guess the progress of this new relationship. So the new relationship that I'm talking about, of course, is the relationship with my ex-partner, right? Ex-husband, right? So Real Fam, I jumped into a new relationship, and then a few months later I was like, hey, no, I haven't really healed, I need some time out. All right, so I don't know if it's I can say rightfully so. When I decide to want some space, you would feel like, I don't trust this person, clearly this person doesn't love me, or whatever. Or you would respect that, okay, this person feels like, or they're just discovering that they didn't deal with their pain, or their previous pain, or their previous hurt, or whatever. So it's catching up with them. So they just want some time out. I don't know how you interpret it, but I feel like where the trust started getting mixed up, getting, not so great, or confused, or getting lost, started there, right? But anyway, fast forward, Real Fam, years and years later, I constantly feel like I had to prove to a person that, hey, I'm here, I love you, I choose you, you are mine, no one else but you. I wouldn't take you to my parents, I wouldn't allow you to take your money and lobola and do whatever. I wouldn't invite you in my parents' home if I had different intentions. That's just my view. But just to summarize that part, I feel like trust was the biggest thing in our marriage, and that's why I was like, if we don't trust each other, then what are we doing? And then I stepped out. I chose to step out. Okay, that's what I did. So yeah, we can put a full stop on that one. Let's move on to the other point that I want to emphasize, and I think this will be a takeaway from today's video, that real fam, and you can relate it to marriage, you can relate it to just a breakup, you can relate it to losing a job or whatever. Real fam, if you experience a loss in your life, if you experience something painful or whatever, it's okay to sit on it a bit. It's okay to sit on it a bit and try to deal with it. It's okay to cry as much as you can. It's okay to wake up and feel like you don't want to wake up, right? Those days where you wake up and you're like, I don't want to see the world. I just want to be in bed, eat whatever. I don't know. I'm not that kind of person who when they are hurt or stressed, I want to eat or whatever. No, I'd rather binge into Netflix or just sleep. That's just me. That's just me, but we're different, right? I don't know what works better for you. But here's my point. You should not allow your past pain or your past hurt to control your entire life. At some point, you're gonna need to get up. You're gonna need to prepare yourself. You're gonna need to come back to this world, to the reality that things are not how they used to be, and that you have to move on. And real fam, you are not going to do this alone. You're going to do it with God, because girl, who are you to do things alone? Who are you to run this race alone? You have to run it with God, because that's where you get your strength, honey. That's where you get your strength. So as you heal, there's often so many triggers that come, and I want to point out that just because sometimes there's triggers that keep coming does not mean that you're not healing, does not mean that you're taking 5 steps back. No, it's just that you are actually bumping into things that, you thought they didn't bother you, but when they start touching you, you realize that actually this affected me, or this is affecting me. So really, healing is not easy, but it's necessary. It's not easy, but it's necessary. And what I love about healing, and what I'm discovering now, real fam, is that as you heal, you uncover, those hidden wounds. It's like you discover those hidden wounds. Certain things will happen, and then something will come into your head, and then you realize, actually, there's something here, right? And I love that as you heal, as you go through things, I believe that it's God really who also is helping us to say, okay, I want you to realize that, okay, as you're healing from this, that also played a part in you experiencing 1, 2, 3, right? And this and that play your part. And real fam, I'm not here to say that I'm perfect, or I was a perfect wife and all that. I was not perfect. I believe that I had my own mistakes, all right? But I don't think in any way that the mistakes that I had were in any way to compromise my marriage or my relationships or whatever. I honestly honor marriage. I honor marriage, and me deciding to get married, honestly, to me, was a sign to say, okay, I'm committing, because this is something that is actually even in the Bible. God says a lot about marriage, the beauty of marriage, and how you should respect marriage. So I was not in any way willing to compromise that. Even, forget marriage. Okay, I'm not saying forget marriage, but what I'm saying is that let's just pause on marriage a little bit. Relationship itself. When you get into a relationship, you get into a relationship with intentions to build, with intentions to grow something, right? Not with intentions to play and all of that. Right? So already when you get into marriage, already becomes a cherry on top to say, okay, we're just sealing whatever that we've been building in a relationship. I don't think we start committing, or we start being serious about the love that we have in marriage. I believe that it starts in the relationship. And if that part is not solid, or the foundation is not solid, take it from me, I saw it from my marriage, that clearly in our relationship the foundation was not solid enough to carry us in marriage, because through marriage the foundation started cracking to a point that it fell. Unfortunately, sometimes you don't see that. I didn't see that at some point. I didn't, because I was in it for eternity, baby. I was in it for eternity. I was like, that's my man. That video on TikTok? Is that your man? Yeah, that's my man. And you're going to stick by it? I'm going to stick by it. You know what I mean? That's my man. I'm going to stick by it, or stick by him, or something like that. So, yeah, that's where I was. Like, Pagati Insights. That's where I was. But I'm so grateful that I got to experience it. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And my marriage was quite short, right? It was quite short, but my experience, Real Fam, is not in any way to try compare the length of marriages or whatever and all of that. But I'm here, Real Fam, to express so that, love is beautiful, and love can be kind, can be painful at times, but it's kind, and it has to be beautiful. And I'm here to also say that I so believe in love. I love love, Real Fam. I'm excited to love again. All right, I'm excited to love again. And saying that I'm excited to love again, Real Fam, it's because I've experienced love. I felt it. I felt the beauty of it. I felt the beauty of marriage, and I'm not in any way going to deprive myself from that. If God decides that you will remarry, girl, or when God decides that, girl, you will remarry and you will be happy again, God, I'm ready. If that's what God wants for me, then who am I to disagree? You know what I mean? So I'm excited for love. And having said that, Real Fam, I chose to just sit and to be alone. Can we talk about the loneliness after divorce? The loneliness after divorce, Real Fam. When you've been married, staying with a person, it's really not easy. It's really not easy. But Real Fam, the peace that was inside of me made it a bit easier. There were times, I would feel like, ooh, I wish there was someone. I wish, I could have someone in my life. Those calls, those good morning messages, those I love you messages, those let's go on a date, let's go on a trip, a weekend away, let's cuddle, let's kiss. Those moments, you miss them when you after divorce. And because when you're married, Real Fam, is like, okay, anytime is tea time. We can do whatever, wherever, however. We are married. So what I'm simply saying, Real Fam, is that it wasn't an easy thing for me. The loneliness is still there. It does come at times, because you do miss being with someone. But I'm so glad and I'm so proud of myself that I did not lose track of what I wanted to do. And what I wanted to do is to just give myself time to heal, give myself time to heal through my divorce, to heal through the pain of really losing my marriage, the pain of losing someone that I felt like was my eternity, or we're gonna be forever and ever together and have a family. Healing from, imagining having a family, building, seeing the future with this person. Healing from all the pain that you endured in the marriage. Healing from you feeling guilty that, okay, was this even the right choice? Because you also have to heal from that, because there are times where you sometimes feel like, was this even the right thing to do? At the end of the day, you know that it's right for you, right? But sometimes you start questioning and blaming yourself to some extent. I was healing from that, and healing from that meant, hey girl, you need to give yourself grace. You really, my hands are so busy today, I don't know what's happening. I'm like, yeah. You need to give yourself grace. You need to heal. You need to give yourself grace and understand that no matter how things happen, and no matter the choice that you made, if that choice was the best one for you, when you did it, then great. And I mean, how many months later? Almost 20 months later, almost a year and a half later. A year and a half is how many months? You'll calculate there. A year and a half later, I'm still evident about the decision that I made. I feel like it was best for me. It was best for us. Else, hey, I wouldn't even be glowing like I'm glowing. I know now they look like they're there. No, but they're not there, real fam. I mean, it's evening and I'm from work. Yes, I washed my face, no makeup whatsoever. But yeah, maybe it's been a long day, but my eyes were black. My eyes were dark because I was stressed. So I wouldn't be in a good space. Real fam, I'm not going to sit here and say that you should just give up on your marriage that easy. Or if you find yourself in a situation where you feel like things are not working out for you, and then you feel like giving up, real fam, I'm not gonna advise you to not fight for what you have. I believe that I've played my part in fighting for what I had. But having said that, also I felt like throughout the relationship and marriage, I kept fighting for my relationship and fighting for my marriage. So yeah, the fight was just too much. I feel like I've done my part. That's how I feel. Is it the same feeling from another person? Maybe not. And it's okay. This is how I feel. This is how I feel I've done. And just to wrap up, I'm wrapping up now. Real fam, make sure that when you are in love, you are in a relationship, in marriage, this thing of, and I think I said it on the first video, I'm going to repeat it. This thing of saying that you're just going to, test the waters and see, or you're not going to give your all, or you're not going to love fully, or you're going to leave space for disappointment. Honey, how do you say you love a person but you love half? Like, I don't get it. How do you even divide your heart? How do you even do that? All right? How do you even do that? I don't understand. But what I'm saying is that when you're in it, make sure you're in it and you are there with everything that you are, that you have. Be in it. Like, be fully present. That's the best word to use. Be fully present. Don't miss out on anything, because if you miss out on anything, real fam, I promise you, you're gonna leave that relationship, you're gonna leave that marriage, and you will probably want to go back, or you'll probably not heal from it, because you'll feel like, oh, okay, I actually robbed that relationship. I could have done 1, 2, 3, and 4. And unfortunately, at the time, honey, it's over. People have moved forward, eh? Maybe people have kids, they're remarried, or they're in relationships or whatever. So real fam, do not miss out on that. And also, I want to say this. If you feel like your heart is not ready to get out of a situation, even when you have thoughts of leaving a relationship or whatever, if there's a part of you that says there's still hope, stay until you get to a point where you're like, what I thought was hope was actually nothing. It was just another hopeless situation. Just make sure you do that, unless of course it's a bad relationship where you abused or whatever. Gratefully, I've never experienced any type of abuse emotionally. Yeah. Ooh, the wind outside, real fam, it's cold. You know, there's that emotion, like you can feel the emotion and all that. If you feel like there's hope and you see something and it's not harming you physically, mentally, then stay until you really feel like, okay, I can't stay anymore. Because real fam, healing also requires you to heal in that situation. I feel like my healing started when I was in my marriage. I was healing from the fact that no, my ex-hubby my then husband doesn't really trust me. So I had to heal from the fact that, girl, this man doesn't trust you. No matter how much you try, he doesn't. So you need to heal from that. You need to pray about it and just heal from that. No amount of counseling or whatever can really help you if you are not healing from the heart. You can speak to the therapist, counselor, whatever, but if you are not healing from here, and if you're not being truthful to yourself, unfortunately, you'll just run around the circle. You won't go anywhere. So I had to heal. That process started then. And me talking about this now, it's because, real fam, I'm healing, and it feels so good. It feels so good. If you ask me right now, what do you think? Like, would you go back to your ex-husband? No, I wouldn't. That chapter of my life is closed. I believe that we would share the same sentiments on his end, right? Do you wish him well? Oh, I wish him the best. Oh, I wish him love. Like, if there's anything like perfect love, I would wish him that. I wish him love, happiness, joy, peace that I probably didn't give him, because if you don't trust me, clearly you had sleepless nights, girl. Clearly you didn't have much peace. I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying that I just wish him well. I just wish him love, the best. Oh, love, happiness, wealth, everything. Beautiful kids. Oh, plus he's beautiful. He's a beautiful guy. My ex-husband, he's beautiful. So may he have beautiful kids, beautiful girlfriend, beautiful wife. I wish him that. I wish him well. What would I say if he had to just be in front of me right now? I would say, I wish you well. Nothing but the best. Happiness. The happiness that you feel like you haven't felt, you didn't feel, or you didn't get from me. May God just give you so much joy that any pain that you felt can just be erased. That's what I wish for him. That's how I feel. and blessings upon blessings. So, real fam, as I close, I want you to remember that life goes on. Life goes on, and you cannot be stuck in a rut forever. You cannot be stuck in pain forever. You need to get up, tintita yourself, and make sure that you go after your dreams. Make sure that you do what makes you happy. Because real fam, if you lose a part of yourself and you don't heal that part of yourself, it will affect like biggest part of your life. It will affect your job, your friendships, your social life, your peace. Oh, your peace is very important. Your peace, that joy, family. You really need to make sure that you strike a balance. And I think life is too short for us to really deny ourselves joy and happiness. I think we all deserve joy and happiness. And joy and happiness is not necessarily you finding a partner or another partner after you the pain of breakup or divorce or whatever. No, finding joy within yourself. Real fam, I stay alone. I've been staying alone for a year and a half. I enjoy time with myself. I enjoy my own space. It's amazing. I enjoy it. I'm not saying I don't enjoy being around people, but I enjoy time with myself. And as you heal, you really need to do that. I've started doing this thing of looking in the mirror and just having a conversation with myself. And I'm loving that. I think you should try it, because I feel like you are now in conversation with this girl in the mirror. If you haven't tried it, please do. If you haven't tried it, please do. So all I'm saying is that may you find healing, not disrespect to your healing journey or how you should heal. There's no formula to how you should heal. Some it takes them a month, some it takes them 6 months, some takes them 6 years, or even a decade. So I don't know. I'm not gonna try to tell you how to heal or whatever. But all I'm saying is that as you heal, and I'm speaking from my own experience, that's why we Real Talk with Nthabi. That's why my channel is called Real Talk with Nthabi, because we are real like that. And I'm talking about things that are real, things that I've experienced. I usually use more of what I've experienced. I don't want to say something that I don't, unfactual or opinions of other people. Yes, I do sometimes, but I always try to relate my story. My story might not be your story, but there's so much that we can learn from our stories. So don't stop telling your story. Do not be afraid to tell your story. Do not be afraid to speak to the person from within. Do not be afraid to relive moments that gave you pain, because only then you'll realize if ever you are healing or you are just avoiding the healing. The fact that I'm talking about it, real fam, listen, it means I am healing. And I'm glad that I get to share this in a positive manner, because you know, we need more of this. We need more of women. We need more of conversations where, as much as you've went through pain, you've went through challenges, you don't wish any bad to other people. Just because you are in pain, whatever, doesn't mean you feel like that pain should just be doubled to another person. No. Forgiveness also plays a huge role. When you forgive, you open doors for yourself. Because if you feel like you were pained, you need to forgive someone else and forgive yourself as well. Okay? You'll need to do that at some point. So let's leave this video here. It's a bit long, but I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. And of course, if you're on Spotify, I appreciate you listening, whether you're driving or you're just chilling or you're in bed. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. And yeah, don't forget to jump into YouTube and subscribe. And of course, like and follow there on Spotify, and make sure that you review this video. And real fam, if you're watching here on YouTube and you haven't followed on Spotify, there's a link on the description. Check it out. And I am Real Talk with Nthabi on all platforms. Make sure to check me out. I'll appreciate that. Follow me, engage with me, let's have conversations. And yeah, something is coming soon. Hint hint, we're gonna have an annual event this year, and I'm excited about it. This is just a hint. If you've watched until this point, okay, you know. If you've watched until this point, please comment by putting hashtag sis give yourself grace on the comment section, okay? And we have a TikTok page, sis give yourself grace, which is purely new. There isn't much content there, but yeah, I'll share the link as well. Love you lots, and as I usually say, don't forget to make today count. Love you always, and yeah, take care. Subscribe.